think it's been 2 years. So actually, I spoke at the Sacramento FiTEN event last time, and it's great to see the growth in the organization. The number of people that are attending this, and thanks to all the volunteers and the organizers. Like we run commercial events for companies, and it takes a lot of effort. And these are like non-profit, and the amount of effort taken by the FiTEN organization, the FeTNA organization, all the volunteers. So thanks to like all of you for making this a great event. I know it's the beginning of the event, but you still have 2 more days to go. So this is a unique event. Normally I talk in industry conferences. This is basically a technology plus Tamil. So I thought I should at least say something in Tamil. Apologies to those who don't understand Tamil or basically who speak Tamil purely, because I don't think my Tamil is going to be that good. So at least my introduction, you saw the technical introduction, but it's more my personal introductions. So என் பேர் வந்து வெல்சாமி. நான் பிறந்து வளர்ந்ததெல்லாம் விருதுநகர். ஸோ இன்னும் என்னோட 3 சிஸ்டர்ஸ் ஃபேமிலி எல்லாம் அங்கே தான் இருக்காங்க. ஸ்கூல் வந்து விருதுநகரில் தான் படித்தேன் 10th வரைக்கும். அதுக்கப்புறம் சேலம் பக்கத்தில் ஏற்காடு மான்ஃபர்டில் வந்து ஹையர் செகண்டரி முடிச்சுட்டு கிண்டியில் இன்ஜினியரிங் முடித்து இங்கே யூஎஸ்க்கு வந்து மாஸ்டர்ஸ் வந்து அந்த அதுக்கப்புறம் ஃபஸ்ட்டு ஷிகாகோவில் கொஞ்ச நாள் இருந்து, அதுக்கப்புறம் லாங் ஐலாண்டில் கொஞ்ச நாள் இருந்து பே ஏரியாவில் செட்டில் ஆகிருக்கோம். என்னோடய ஒய்ஃப் வந்து ஸ்ரீவித்யா. ஸோ அவள் பிறந்து வளர்ந்ததெல்லாம் தூத்துக்குடி, அண்ட் அவள் படித்தது வந்து காலேஜ் வந்து கோயம்புத்தூர். And then she's been the last 25 years இங்கே கலிஃபோர்னியா தமிழ் அகாடமின்னு சொல்லி அதில் she's been a volunteer and teaching Tamil and all the administrator and the board member as well. So எங்களுக்கு வந்து 3 kids, 3 girls. So the oldest வந்து she's here. She's a lawyer. Second வந்து she's an engineer. Third வந்து TBD. ஸோ ஐ திங்க் காலேஜில் படிக்கிறா, அவள் வந்தால் தான் தெரியும் என்ன முடிக்கிறா அப்படின்னு சொல்லி. ஸோ தட்ஸ் இன் ஷார்ட் அவர் ஃபேமிலி. ஸோ ஐ வில் ஸ்விட்ச் பேக் இது டெக்னிக்கல் கான்ஃபரன்ஸ்னால, அண்ட் அப்பாலஜிஸ் டு த பீப்புள் தட் டிடன்ட் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் தமிழ். ஸோ லாஸ்ட் டைம் when we met at Sacramento, I think we were getting out of this whole pandemic. And the pandemic is like a once in a lifetime event. And then we were facing this second once-in-a-lifetime event, that's this whole changes that were happening in AI. And we talked about, so I was trying to say that, hey, the best way to look at what's going to happen with AI is look at something that happened before. And the closest we talked about was like internet. Like how internet changed our lives. And then at the time, actually, I asked the audience, like, how many of you remember when there was no internet? Maybe I should check again. So does anybody remember when you didn't have like all these, no GPS, you went to get like triptychs from like AAA, and then maybe like no cell phones, and the India calls like $3. Are there people like that? Okay. So my thought is, once I don't see any more hands, I think I'll stop speaking. I think the audience is completely the next generation. So it's been like a few years since AI started. And one of the best ways to look at how this whole change is going is look at all the practical applications. When you see a transformation like this, there's a lot of speculation, and there is a lot of fluff around it. So the best way to look at what is it, how much real it is actually to look at the ground level. Okay, when I say ground level, look at the real applications that are actually working. And being at Zoom, the advantage I have is in the front lines of like how people use Zoom products and how they are using AI. And that's something that we can use to look at the whole industry, how it is going to transform. The whole AI revolution right now, it's not just a technology revolution. Because we introduced all these privacy issues with the internet, there's a huge compliance and privacy with AI. And there's a huge part of social also with AI. So any company that's actually going to do AI, I think you need to look at all these aspects. And if you look at Zoom, what we have done is, one of the things that we have come out and said is, we will never use any customer content for our own training. Okay, that addresses the privacy, the compliance part of it. And the second is from a technology standpoint, like every day you hear something new. There is a new LLM, or there is a new way of doing AI. And one of the things that we have done at Zoom is we said, okay, look, we do this thing called a federated model. When you say federated, it means like we use multiple LLMs. LLM is a large language model. And we also use certain things called SLM, which is a small language model. And the whole idea is it makes you a little bit agnostic to all the changes that are happening in the world today. So we get the benefit of using the best LLMs. Even there, we have to provide a way for our customers to say whether we use only Zoom LLMs or like also third-party LLMs. So that sort of makes, if you see the business requirements, everybody is going through their own journey. And everybody has their own needs. The privacy needs are very different. And given that, all of these changes are taking a little bit time, because if there was no privacy issue, I think things would be moving a lot faster. And the third part of the whole AI strategy, like what companies need to do is the social part of it. One of the things that we at Zoom have done is we basically said all the basic AI functionality is going to be available to everybody that's a subscriber. Okay, and the reason for that is, there may be a lot of you working in IT organizations. And when there is a budget set in the beginning of the year, and there is a new technology coming in, normally what happens is it's all self-funded by each department. And so it becomes like selective people get AI, selective people don't get AI, based on whether the department has funding, etc. We felt like, look, there was already a huge digital divide with the internet. And with AI, we need to democratize it as much as we can, at least within the scope of like what we have done. So that's something that is the foundation. We call it the 3 pillars. The compliance, privacy part of it, the technology part of it, and the social part of it. And then if you look at beyond that, the practical application, we launched something called a Zoom AI Companion. And if you look at a Zoom meeting, so some of the challenges with meetings are they're very synchronous. You need to have people all at the same time. And sometimes people miss meetings, and sometimes you have like too many people in meetings. And one of the first features that we launched was like a meeting summary. So the meeting summary, actually, you don't even need to record the meeting. You basically get a summary of the meeting with action items. And what we have seen, one is there's a huge adoption. We have, I don't have the exact official number, but because more than 1 million customers are adopting it. And the change, what it has done is this. See, there are a lot of people, if you look at a meeting, there may be a few contributors. There are a lot of fringe contributors. You may not need them to waste all their time in meetings. They could actually go and work. But the fact that they don't want to miss out is something that they all participate. So if they just get a summary of the meeting with action items assigned to them, that's actually a much better solution. It also avoids people trying to work across like time zones. Like, most of you know that you have teams all over the world, and it's easier to have meetings and have like summaries. I think the second feature we launched is something called meetings, like meeting questions. And this is a live in meeting. So say, for example, you're late for a meeting, you can actually say catch up. And then you can actually get what went on in the meeting. You can also, if you missed a few minutes, you can say, hey, was my name mentioned? Was there anything that I missed, etc. So what we are seeing is a lot of these features. And this is, most of you know Zoom as like a video company, video conferencing, but there is a lot more. We have Zoom Phone, Zoom Contact Center, Zoom Clips, Zoom Whiteboard, all of those. This whole AI platform is across everything. And I'll give you another example. So most of the time, I make my phone calls when I'm driving. And sometimes, I think I even got a ticket for that. The last ticket I got is because I was holding my phone, okay? But how do you take notes when you're actually making a call? So the AI actually provides an ability to summarize like your phone calls. It also has the ability to summarize and
No, I
prioritize
cannot hear you,
voicemail.
actually. I cannot hear you.
Hello? Sorry. So, and then if you look at Zoom's contact center, I think one of the things, so contact center, you know, is basically like supporting companies. And one of the things the contact center, what is happening in that world is a lot of the entry level problems, the repetitive problems are being handled by AI. And what that means is your agents can actually support like more complicated problems. And then the next steps, what we are seeing is like people are using AI to prepare for meetings. You know, I think Zoom connects to your Salesforce, connects to your email. So it can actually provide a full brief of like who you're meeting, what do you do, etc. So in summary, there is a lot of productivity that we are seeing. And then we are seeing like a lot of adoption. And also what that means is, you know, if you look at the industry today, there is a lot of flux, okay? I don't know, like how many of you are like fresh out of college or early in your career? So one of the things that I've seen the last few years is that there's very few entry-level jobs, okay? And part of it is most companies are actually trying to move all the funding to AI. And the second is, a lot of them don't know like what's going to happen in the future. So they're worried about hiring people and letting them go. But you know, I think these are all like seasonal. You know, like we have seen this happen. Maybe the last few years have been very good with jobs, but this is not like anything different from what used to happen in the 90s. So when I was actually looking for a job, so me and one of my roommates, his name is Mani. So we lived around Chicago. So there was this job fair in Chicago. And those days it was newspaper. So we found this job fair and then we got our suits and then printed some resumes, no internet, no email. So we drove there. And then at the entrance, they told us, hey, you cannot get in. You need at least 2 years experience. And then on the way back, we got a speeding ticket. Okay, so these are things very seasonal. So the way I would look at it is try to understand what direction AI is going. As basically AI gets deployed into companies, I think they'll need a lot more resources to deploy AI, manage AI. So there is going to be a lot more opportunities that are going to be entry level. So don't give up hope. So continue to follow what AI is doing, and then where do you think you need to build your skills? It could be compliance, it could be managing AI tools, etc. There is going to be a lot of opportunities. And then for all the founders, I know there are a lot of great founders here, and I think this is more for the first-time founders. Because there is a lot of change, there are huge opportunities as well, okay? And normally, the closest that I have seen to what we are seeing now is during the dot-com era. And you know, in the dot-com era, the biggest problem was that a lot of people had technology that were looking for a problem. So my advice to all of them is, hey, try to find the problem first, okay? So one example I'll give you is, you know, the Zoom's founder, Eric. So we used to work at WebEx together. And then WebEx got acquired by Cisco. And Cisco is a much bigger company, and the focus on WebEx was not there. And then we all felt the pain of not keeping our customers happy. And then slowly, like all of us left. And Eric actually was the last one to leave. And he tried everything he can to see how he can actually make the product better. But then finally, he realized that the only way he can make the product better is actually leave the company and start his own company. The second part I would actually look at is focus on customers, okay? And normally when you start a company, you basically are very focused. As you start growing, you'll start losing focus. You'll start looking at all internal processes. You'll try to optimize everything, forgetting that there is a customer. You know, one other incident. So I think Eric went and started Zoom, and then I was working at VMware. But we were very close, so we used to talk periodically. So there was this one day, I think when Zoom was like maybe 4 years old or 5 years old. So I was actually driving with a friend to play golf on a Sunday afternoon. And this friend works for a very large software company. And then he knew that I used to work for WebEx. So he basically told me, hey, we started using this new tool called Zoom. It actually works very well. But he said that there is this one problem that when there's an external attendee, it takes a little while to join. So I called Eric from the car. So I told him, hey, I have one of your customers. So Eric listened to it. And then he asked a few more questions. And then he told my friend that, hey, tomorrow morning when you go to the office, the problem will be resolved. Okay? And then my friend calls me the next day and said, hey, I didn't believe it, but the problem is gone. You know, that customer focus is something that has kept the company through the whole pandemic, and the culture is still there, you know. And for those of you, you know, like that are in the mid-careers, you know, like you are basically like a director, senior director, VP, etc. I think one of the things that, like this is what I do, is actually you need to look at reinventing yourself periodically, okay? When I say reinventing yourself, one of the things that I feel that makes us complacent is basically taking a job and thinking that you're going to be there permanently. You know, there are going to be so many external changes that happens. So the way I would look at it is you need to periodically look to say, if you are the new guy coming into the job, what would you do? Okay, so that's something I keep doing every day. Okay, I look at like what did I do, and then how do I do better? That is something will keep you very fresh, and I mean, career-wise, I think that'll help you a lot. Basically, you're doing what the company should be doing, and if you are way ahead of the company, I think either your job will be good or you'll find like pretty good jobs. The other part that I also found is like you need to find your sweet spot. When I say sweet spot, so this is something that I learned once. You know, I think I was picking up my daughter from high school. Okay, and she was actually in this program called mock trial. And I think she was a sophomore in high school. And then when I picked up, the teacher said, oh, she's so good, etc. And I said, okay, look, I mean, all the teachers say that, so just normal. And then I was talking to her and asked her, like, hey, how do you like this? So she said something, I don't think she remembers now, but she said something, look, there are certain things that I'm good at, but I don't like. There are certain things that I like, but I'm not good at. And she said there are certain things I really like and I'm good at. And this is the one thing that I really like. So she really liked the mock trial. Mock trial is something like a precursor to doing law. And I think she's a lawyer now. So what I realized is, listening to her, I realized that my career, what was my sweet spot? And then I found that, okay, look, I was initially in software. I found that SaaS is sort of my sweet spot, basically building software and running software. I think each of you need to find out, like, what do you think you're good at and what do you like and how is the like interface? Okay, where does it match? So the last thing I would say to close out, so look, this is a lot of effort. Thanks to all the FiTEN, FeTNA organizers. And so all my connection to the community is actually through my wife. So since she has been involved in the community, etc. You know, when you have somebody involved in the community like that, there is always pros and cons. I think I got all the pros, and I think my kids got all the cons. So the kids actually, each of them for 10 years, I think they were woken up Sunday morning, and then they had to attend Tamil school. And for me, the pro was every Sunday morning, whether I liked it or not, like I had to go play golf. Okay, there's nothing for me to do. Everybody is in school. And the kids, not only that, beyond that, they basically had to teach at the schools. But actually, the ones that actually have it even worse are the fiancés and boyfriends. You know, one of my daughter's fiance, Janani's fiance, Kanai, and then Ashwini's boyfriend, Shubi. So they are in their mid-20s and late 20s. And you know, they are basically, they've been registered to Tamil school, and they're all learning Tamil right now. So I feel I got the better end of the deal with my wife. With that, I think, thank you for inviting me here, and thanks to all the organizers, and I think I wish the whole event, FiTEN, a great event, and a great FeTNA to all of you. Thank you.